everyone. Dan Myers, Nick Buckler, the wrap-up. That's right. They've led us around for 83 weeks now, Dan. Happy to be here with you each and every week.
Yeah.
To talk sports, to talk craziness, to insult people, to insult each other, and more importantly, to live, laugh, and love. Dan, thanks for being here.
Thanks again for having me. 83 straight weeks.
So
in a
when
row.
did
This
you
is great.
stop being a sports blogger is what I'm really...
You
Because
know,
I remember like the first 2 weeks, you were sports blogger Dan Myers.
I was, and you know, there's just a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of trolls,
yeah.
and you know, I didn't really want to deal with those trolls anymore.
So you decided to come here to the wrap-up.
Start a new era, and yeah, here we are, 83 weeks later, and just as
Couldn't be happier to be sharing the Dest with you.
yes, it was destined.
Destinies, child. You know, the Lions are high atop the NFC
Speaking
North.
of destiny,
I don't
was-
think
that was
you
a horrible
ever felt
segue.
this
Sorry about
heavy.
that.
I don't think you ever feel, and my body's so delicious, baby. Destiny's Child? No, okay. Well, the Lions,
got
yeah,
you.
that's right. They're destined for a playoff spot now. They gotta be 9-4. First place in the NFC North. Second place in the NFC as a whole. And if the playoffs were to start today, Dan, would they have a first-round game? 1, 2, 3? No! They would have a bye in the first round and then host a playoff game. This is pandemonium,
yeah,
Dan.
yeah, it really is.
The streets of Detroit may soon be on fire, folks. These people will riot. This is going to be great. What a time to be alive.
Absolutely. And you know what? I attribute it, and I was talking to my dad earlier this week. He attributes
How's he
the
doing?
turnaround. He's doing great. He attributes this turnaround to the rant you went on 3-4 weeks ago. No, it's like 5 weeks ago.
9 weeks ago.
Was that much? Wow.
Well, which rant are we talking about? Are we talking about the one when I said they are the absolute worst team in football? Or the one where I came back and said they are, yeah, that's right, the best team in all of football?
it was the worst team
the
of football.
best
It was
around.
eerily similar to the Miracle Speech by Kirk Douglas. Was it Doug?
Well,
Kurt Russell.
stop. Oh, the actor.
Yeah.
You're not going to go Herb Brooks on me?
Well, Herb Brooks gave. I mean, I just reminiscent flashbacks of Herb Brooks giving that pumped up speech.
Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team. Man, I just got the goosebumps.
Or the
just
Al
thinking
Pacino
about it.
speech from Any Given Sunday, for those who have seen that movie.
I have not.
A little older for
Yeah, that's probably why it flew over the old head of mine.
Gordon Bombay speech. So what you did, you
okay,
turned that
all
program around, and
I did,
you
that I
will be
did.
getting, you know,
A
I'm not even
royalty check?
that too. I was going to talk about jewelry, but they got to earn it first. So I don't
Oh,
wanna jinx
so
it.
I'm going to be getting a Super Bowl ring is what you're saying.
You
see
deserve it
this?
just as much as anybody else does.
No ring. I'm waiting. Red Wings, I'll take your ring.
Yeah.
I've got an 08 ring sitting at home.
Ooh,
I wore it on the wrap-up once.
you did.
It
Daddy
was a
did.
great day. I still have it.
Yeah.
I'd be honored to wear it anytime. I wore it. There was a period of time where I was proud of that 08 ring and then realized, well, who am I impressing? No one. No one. But if they win this year, I'll wear the 2017 Stanley Cup ring with pride. And Detroit Lions. That's right. Brass of the Lions. I'll take my ring. Since that rant, that's right. Your Detroit Lions are 8-1 since I said that they're the worst team in all of football. After their loss to the Bears in Week 4, when they dropped to 1-3, and I said this is the worst team of all time. They since have only dropped one game, 8-1. They only lost at Houston 20-13. They beat Minnesota twice. They beat the very good Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Redskins, the Eagles, the Rams. They beat the Bears, the Saints on the road. I mean, is this team for real?
That Saints win was really, I think, is going to play a key factor whether or not they, you know, should they go far in the playoffs. And I feel like that really turned it around. I felt like the Chicago win over the weekend was a lot over-glorified. I mean, you kind of expected
It
them
was
to
literally an awful game.
win. It really was. And I felt like, you know, I've talked to a lot of people. It felt like watching Chicago was like watching the old Lions of way. It was just-
I made a new thing. You know there's SOL, same old Lions. I come up with SOB, same old Bears.
oh, I think you might have started something.
That last drive
The Buckler
for the
curse.
Bears.
I like that.
The last drive for the Bears was absolutely disgusting. 3 straight plays when they had a gain, got called back due to holding. SOB. Same old Bears.
Yep.
SOL, you know, you can think, oh, there's something there that you shouldn't say. SOB, same thing. You're thinking, what? You can't say that. Yeah, you can, because it's same old Bears. They're the worst team.
Yeah.
I think if they played the Browns, they might lose. Robert Griffin III's back. Picked up right where he left off. He went 8 for 38. Horrible.
Yeah.
This team is so bad, the Cleveland Browns. Should just fold. I mean, it's bad. You know who's not bad? The Lions.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on them. I'm really not. I just think they're the best of the worst. I don't even know how to explain it. They keep pulling out wins. They find a way. And I'm still not sold. I don't know, am I being closed-minded? Am I delusional? Am I spot on? I don't know. But I just still am not sold. I think if they go to the Giants and Dallas and win both games, then shut me up. You know, call me Sally. I don't care. If they win both of those games, I'll come on the wrap-up. What do you want me to do on this show? I'll do it. Get as crazy as you want. I'll do it. If they win the next 2 football games on the road against the 2 best teams in the NFC.
We're both going to have to do something. I don't know what. You can send us.
Should we paint our chests? I'll put a lion.
Yeah.
And he'll put a picture of my
Go.
face.
There you go.
We'll get a professional. We'll get Picasso in here.
Dig
Van
him up, see
Gogh's
how
here.
he's doing.
We'll sit right here. And we'll get wild, folks. The wrap-up's going to be off the hook. If the Lions... That's if they win the next 2 games. You're hoping they
Knocking on
don't.
wood. Knocking on wood.
I'll
Hoping
do
they
it. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'll get wild. I'll get cray. What, Wild and Crazy Kids. Remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all
Omar
already know
Gooding, Donnie Jeffcoat.
it. All right, you're losing me.
Those were two of the 3.
The hosts?
Yeah.
Well, Wild and Crazy Kids. And then there was like the dude who looked like Andre 3000 or Cat Williams who's like, tonight's prizes are Campbell Soup for everybody. I was like, dude, thanks. It really
Yes, I do.
I really want to come on your game show, man. I could win Campbell Soup for 2 weeks. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be sweet. Can't wait. It's going to be off the chain, bro. Isn't that what they said in the 90s?
But
That's going to be most dope. Is that
no,
the slang you guys use?
that's early 2000s.
Either way, I was a wee lad at that time.
Yes, you were. Yep.
What was the bar scene like back then? Were you around there?
Prohibition?
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, you had to go to speakeasies. And, you needed to have connections.
Who were yours? Sinatra? Were you Hoffa's boy? You know where he's at?
No.
Are we getting too off the grid? Oh,
little bit.
you got that look like you know something.
I can't say anything. I don't, because I don't know anything.
Well, you know what? That might have been a cheap shot on Jimmy Hoffa. All right, that was cheap. All right. There's also a cheap shot that you want to talk about in the Denver Broncos Tennessee Titans game.
I think it needs to be talked about. The Harry Douglas cheap shot.
The first cheap shot there was Harry Douglas's parents. All right, if you have any last name like Douglas or the guy from Capital Mortgage Funding, Harry Glanz, like come
Wait,
on.
shout out to Harry Glanz. I think that
guy's
he
made
took
it.
that name and he turned it around. He spun it and now he's.
Come on, like, does that guy what were his parents thinking? Douglas, man, he's got a pretty Harry Douglas. Let's name him Harry Douglas. Come on, what does that even mean? Like you're just like cursing your kid.
Well, apparently Chris. Yeah. Apparently
Yeah.
Chris Harris Jr. said something to make him mad because that shot that went on Sunday was disgusting. I can't believe he actually went back into the game. You and I were watching the hit before we jumped on the wrap up, and it was disgusting.
We did.
I felt
had
like
not
you
seen it.
were watching his knee buckle. It was.
Do you remember the hit Willis McGahee took when he was at Miami against Ohio State, 2002 national championship? It reminded me of that when you can see his knee snap backwards. It's disgusting. We won't show you. We will spare you. This is a family show, believe it or not. And it was cheap. It's nowhere near the play. We'll show you the hit from Harry Douglas. Still trying to wrap my head around his name. But, I mean,
Yeah.
you go helmet right to the knee on a helpless player who's not, it's pretty much a blindside helpless player. I mean, the league has become the no-fun league, and you go and do this, and I'm not sure, this was however many days ago now, and I haven't seen a fine, any type of reciprocation from the league at all. Roger Goodell, what are you doing? Answer the phone. Your boy's calling. You there, bro?
Can you hear me now?
It's Bush League. Amateur hour.
And more discussion. Excuse me. The more discussion was about
You all right?
Aqib
Getting
Talib.
choked
yeah.
up? You all
yeah.
right?
I'm a little. Yeah.
You feeling for Harris Jr.?
Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible. And the worst thing about that too is there was no reaction or preparation for him to catch the ball. It clearly wasn't even going in.
The play was the
his
other side of the
direction.
field.
Exactly.
And it was a run.
And when you're watching it at the game, if you watch the actual replay of it, of what you saw as you're watching it live, there was, I mean, he wasn't even in the frame. He was so not even going to get the ball. But it was embarrassing. And I'm not the biggest, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not the biggest Aqib Talib fan, but I thought that was huge with what he did.
You got to stick up for your player.
Yeah.
That was a cheap shot. It was what they call Bush League, amateur hour. And what gets me, who's worse than the Harrius Douglas in the world, are the idiot fans. They boo, then they show the replay, and they continue to boo. You better be booing your own player, your 8th string wide receiver, Harrius Douglas, because this guy just tried to end a guy's career. Got a family, you got kids, you got to go to work the next day. Okay, no, that's what I say in beer league hockey when guys try to cheap shot. But there's no reason for this at all.
No.
Dirty play, cheap shot, Bush League, amateur hour, idiot fans, all 2,000 of you need to hit the exit. You don't deserve the playoffs. The Tennessee Titans never deserve the playoffs. Trade Mariota, move the franchise to Paris, and let's move on.
Let's do it. Let's move on.
You know what? We are going to move on. Here's a word from our good friends.
What's up, man?
Oh, I need a haircut.
I just got mine done today.
Where'd you go?
Went to Rocco's. It's Chesterfield. About a mile east of 94 on 23.
Oh, how much do they charge?
It's $12. You can walk right in anytime. They're just closed on Sundays, I think.
Oh, $12? It might be worth the drive up there.
It really is. We'll go next time.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
If ever there's a reason to be swept up in the season of the falling leaves, and if the days grew shorter and the darkness drew its order from the autumn gray, I'd rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead. Weary eyes a bit too slow and deep. I'd rather sit this out and sleep the day away instead, to worry about the emptiness that comes.
Man, those are some great friends we got, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Man, it's good to know some friends. We're friends. They're friends. Chandler, Ross, Monica, Rachel, Joey, Phoebes. They're also friends. You know what? I always wanted to make it down to the Central Perk, but I never could. But instead, we can make it down to the Joe Louis Arena for just a few more months before they move to the Caesar Dome, the Thunderdome, the LCA, Little Caesars Arena. But right now, the Joe is not being very friendly to the Detroit Red Wings. They are 6-7-3 at home, and that's kind of out of the ordinary against the odds, really, for them. It's been such a tough place to play for so long, and now they're 7-5-1 on the road, but 6-7-3 at home. They've dropped 8 of their last 10 home games.
Yep.
Riddle me that, Dan. What's the problem?
I really don't know what the problem is. The defense is the problem, first of all. You've got, I don't know why I said it. I don't know what the problem is. There's so many.
We know. We got a list, folks.
Yeah.
We've got defense, front office, coach, can't score.
Scrolls.
Awful fans, horrible arena, rest in peace, Joe. Gordy died. Okay. Anyways, where
Nick
were you?
retired. And it all stemmed from there. No,
Right.
but I want to say face-offs aren't really an issue, but looking at the stats, that seems to come into play when they do suffer these horrible losses. Sunday night's game against Philadelphia, that was unfortunate. That was a huge goal by Braden Shen.
That was a great play.
I mean, you're not.
Did you see the guy right behind the net, though, running that camera?
Yeah, there's a pretty
Pretty
good-looking dude.
good-looking dude. Don't know who that was.
But that power play really needs to change. I think the big three are the power play. Obviously, the defense just has to get better.
The defense is non-existent.
Yeah. It's
It's
gotta
sad
be
when
there.
Jonathan Erickson has been your second best defenseman all year long.
Yeah, and I thought they were really going to turn it around with that Winnipeg game. They go into the first period.
That
You're
was
down.
a great comeback.
Yeah, huge comeback. A completely different team when they came back in the second period. Huge goals. Mantha, that was a must goal for him.
Mantha's just dirty in a good way, folks.
Yeah.
In a great way. Nip City.
Yes.
That's for a shot. It's code. Hockey talk. Chirp. Swag.
Yep.
Anyways, continue, Amos.
No, it was,
I
I
clearly
really thought that
interrupted.
was a turnaround game, and I really hoped that was going to light the spark that they needed. And it seemed to for a little bit, and then you came to the weekend, and that Columbus game, which is a team that is just unreal right now.
They're tearing it up.
Yeah.
They're
it's
just. And who's their coach, Dan?
John Tortorella.
Your boy, Johnny Torts.
That
Guy is
hero.
just. I mean, he's kind of a flake, but he's your flake.
Yeah, he is my flake.
You love him.
I do.
You're looking like Hank Lundqvist today, if I may say.
That is the nicest thing someone's ever said to me.
I know. I
Thank
thought
you.
so. Look, I'm just looking over there, and you're looking all swaggy, and you got your hair perfectly groomed to the left. That's like very Lundqvist-esque. I'm gonna start calling you Danny Vezina.
I like that.
Yeah.
That works.
So,
It's
folks,
got some appeal to it. Cool.
Danny Vezina, after 82 weeks, finally got his name on the opening graphic to our show. Dan, it's a true pleasure
Absolutely.
to sit next to
Always.
Hank Lundqvist every single week. Almost as nice if it was Vern Lundqvist, but I'll take Henrik. He's a close second in the Lundqvist, family.
Yeah.
The
Lineage.
brass. Yeah, they're a great family. Vern gave birth to a great Henrik Lundqvist. One of the best goalies of all time, if I may add myself. But a fun fact for you, Dan, the Red Wings are horrible in shootouts, right?
Yeah.
Incorrect. They are 4-0 this year
Are
in
they?
shootouts.
Wow.
And they lead the NHL in shootout wins. Can you riddle me that? Can
Yeah.
you
Early
riddle
on.
me that?
Early on of this season, I didn't see much hope in it.
But it's because of great goaltending.
It is. They
Jimmy
really turned
Howard
it around.
leads the NHL still in goals against average with a 1.68. Peter Mrazek is still playing above average hockey. It doesn't help your team can't score. They're a -7 in goals differential. But get this, another fun fact for you, Danny. They are 4 points out of the playoffs. They are also 4 points out of last place. So you could either be in last or sitting pretty right quick.
Yeah.
Which way do you see him going?
I only see him doing better. I mean, there's a lot of determination. Going back to the Winnipeg game, when they just gel together and everyone's performing, even if it's not at 100%, you can really turn the season around like that. And they just need more games like that when Winnipeg. And I see them doing better. I mean, I don't want to say 26 yet, but
Whoa. You're not going to say it.
I can see it happening. It just something's got to change. There's got to be
Something's got to
huge-
give. Am I right? Great show.
Yeah,
Right? Is that a show? Something's got to give. CBS, Nightly News.
something like that.
Something along those lines. Hey.
Right. What do you think, though? I mean, you're there every game. You get to see. I mean, can you pick up on what the emotion, the mood
thing
is
about
like?
this team is they are so all over the board. They don't get on streaks since the beginning of the year when they won 6 straight games. Then they lost those 7 games or 8 games in a row. And ever since then, they've been win 2, lose 2, win 2, lose 2. And they don't carry themselves anyway. They don't carry themselves really with confidence, and they don't carry themselves like they're a bunch of sad saps. It's just they're so hard to read. I can't get a read on this team. And they look so good at home and they look so bad on the road, but their record says otherwise. They're getting great play from their goaltending on the road. Don't get me wrong, they're getting great goaltending play at home too, but I feel like their offense and their puck control is better at home than it is on the road. However, their record says otherwise. It's so hard to get a read on this team. When they were, at the beginning of the year, they were so fast. They're the fastest team in the league. They were hitting. They were sticking up for each other, which they still are. Did you see Xavier Ouellette the other day?
That was
sticking
awesome.
up for Steve Ott, the tough guy. Oh, man, that was
It goes to show there is that camaraderie there. I mean, Steve Ott's been going after anyone that tries to hit our stars, Dylan Larkin, the young guys. And for them to come back, Xavier Ouellette to come out with such attitude. I mean, he directly just beelined right towards Raffle. And that was awesome to see. And I'm sure.
Rafalski?
Yeah, right. Gosh, I wish. Well, anyways, not the biggest fan.
Rafalski?
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
I just found myself yelling at him more than I did cheering for him. Brian Rafalski. But anyways, I thought that was really cool. And I didn't know Xavier Ouellette really had it in him. That was huge. He was just going.
And he whooped him, too.
He did. He
It was
took
a great
him down.
fight. A couple uppercuts. Ah!
Yeah.
I found myself roaring.
Yeah.
They were restoring the roar next door. I was banging on the glass, restoring the roar at the Joe. It was hype. Weather was horrible. Crowd wasn't really existent. Good to get at least 1 point against a Philly team that's now won 9 straight games. They've went from 13th to 3rd in the Eastern Conference, just like that. So don't say there's no hope.
Right.
Because this Red Wings team, I have not lost faith in this team. Actually, you know what? This team's a lost cause. They're done.
Oh.
This team
I
is
see
so
what he's
done.
doing.
It's beyond belief. You can't score a goal. You can't bail out your goalie. Your coach can't coach his way out of a paper bag. Your defense is non-existent. You know what? Let's get Keller and Charles back there on D. They might win the Norris on this team. It's pathetic. The worst team ever. Get Dougie Brown, get me, get Helen Keller, and we'll form a line. We'll get out there, and we'll win some hockey games. Because God forbid, your team's not doing it, not happening. I don't even know if I want to talk about this team
So we went from
anymore.
the grind line to the blind line. I like that.
Dan, you're a great man, a gentleman, and a scholar. But there's no room for that when this team knows how to lose games. Had enough. Let's talk Pistons. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying it. Don't turn your channels. Actually, you probably already have because I said the word Piston. We're talking 13-13. I need to tape this back together for this final portion of the show. Just picking up my pride, folks. It's all right. Dan, do you want to talk Pistons or do you not care?
Yeah. You know, we went to a couple
There we
games
go,
this
we're
year so
good.
far. And I'm
You have.
yeah. Yeah, we went to
Farewell to the Palace.
yeah the Farewell to the Palace tour. One of my favorite Duke players
Oh, the worst.
was on the Clippers,
Here
so
we
I had to
go.
go see JJ Redick at the
Oh,
Palace.
my Lord.
That team has yet to impress me. The free throws are
They're free.
embarrassing. They're free.
The first word is free.
Yeah.
Why don't you make them? They're free. Anyways,
The threes were they were taking some really stupid threes at that game. You got to
do they still do tees for threes?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shoot out T-shirts every time your team makes a three-pointer. Boop, Kobe, Yashi, let's go.
Yeah, you know, but some of the contracts that they made, the money that's being made by some of these
At
players.
least they don't have Josh Smith.
Yeah.
The worst. The worst.
Yeah, but when you're a professional athlete, you can't make a free throw. You're a professional basketball player.
You're the franchise player,
Yes.
Andre Drummond. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
What do you know?
It's embarrassing. If this team wants to go anywhere, you gotta. That's just a given. It's free, like you said, and it's not being taken advantage of. I mean, they could have ran away with a lot of these games, but due to the lack of free throw shooting, they're not.
You know, Dan, there's a great saying in the world. Nothing in life is free.
Free throws are free.
29 teams in the NBA say, yes, they are. Your Detroit basketball Pistons say, free throws, no, man. They ain't free, no. Swag, no. Oh, is that so, Mr. Andre Drummond? How's your max contract say about that? Oh, okay. Oh, have you been a factor this year? No. Oh, your team's an 8th seed? But they're only 2 games out of the 3rd seed. There's still a lot of time. They've only played 26 games. I still think this team is a team that could make a run in the playoffs. I mean, they have the talent.
They have the coaching.
But when you lose at home by 18 points to the 76ers, who've won 3 games all season long, earth to anyone. This is sad.
Philly.
I mean, by no means, I can't even dribble a basketball. And I could beat the Sixers. We could assemble a team here at the Shelby This Week
The blind
TV
line.
studios, and we could give the 76ers a run. No lie, folks. No lie. And we'd call ourselves the Crap Up.
I like the blind line.
The blind line is a great.
I think we're going to stick with that for a minute. I like that.
You just want to sit and bask in the blind
Right.
line?
We may have a
you
new
know what?
graphic
Let's
next
stare
week.
into the studio lights, and then maybe we can actually become the blind line.
We could do that.
Let's do it. We might be better than the Pistons.
We could. Yeah.
You
very
know
well.
what? The NBA stinks.
Yeah.
Let's talk college
College.
basketball. My only notes say Michigan is 7-3, Michigan State is 7-4. Dan, you have anything to add?
I really never thought I'd see the day that Tom Izzo's Spartans were
Down in the
7-4.
dumps. You the real MVP? Man, this is great. I love when Michigan State loses.
It's been pretty.
It is so good. It's a great time to be alive. They were like, what? Didn't they they've almost lost to Tennessee Tech last week. They should have lost to Florida Gulf Coast, except they ran the clock when the ball was out of bounds. And riddle me that, Dan. Can you riddle me something today?
You know, their early schedule is pretty tough for those early tournaments. They did play Kentucky.
Florida Gulf Coast, Tennessee Tech, real grueling schedule.
That first loss, I really.
Cleveland State, Delaware Tech,
Oh, CSU, yeah.
Schoolcraft.
Really took the wind out of their sails.
Phoenix Online has a great team this year. They got Ernest Jackson at point guard. He's the 81-year-old gentleman who just re-enrolled in classes for the first time in 60 years. MVP of the online league. They're going to give Michigan State a run this year. A big-time run. Mark my words. Mark them. Continue? Or are we done?
I'm done.
Were you saying something about basketball? Because you said
No,
the word, I heard
best.
bouncing and squeaking, and I started to fall asleep and stop caring.
Okay. Best online athletes.
I mean, he is. That guy's got like 38 words per minute. He's unreal. That guy responds to his forum posts on his online classes like nobody's business.
It's pretty
Deadlines, he hits them.
huge. Mr. Clutch.
Ernest Jackson. Look for him. Look for us each and every week right here on Shelby TV. Or you can watch us online anytime. Or you can just continue to watch Shelby TV and get the latest, greatest recipe from Kathy. She's cooking it up. Next, we'll see you guys later. And